Centuries in the 5 frames he's won. He's made the 4 highest breaks of the group so far, so settle back and enjoy. Could be a few fireworks here. Trump was very impressive, just looked really confident, and could not have asked for a better start. Not just the scorelines, just how well he played. A string of breaks from him. Wilson very close to getting in, very close to going in off, but he's left one on. Of course, these two have played in a World Championship semi-final back in 2019. Trump, the winner then, went on to win the title. That was a 3-day match. This a lot shorter, of course, best of 5.
Surely Trump can't sustain the form he showed in the first 2 matches. He was outstanding.
1.
And that was outstanding as well, the perfect positional cannon.
It's been a while, hasn't it, since his second match. Finished about 12:15, so just over 4 hours ago, but it's been a good sign from him. You know, he's really hit the ground running in this new year, 2023. Had breaks of 52, 108, 71, 80, 66 and 67. And the 66, of course, was that great clearance against Selby in frame 2 to win on the black. So in all areas, particularly in terms of the scoring, he's been excellent. And he's looked confident. Of course, he's looking for confidence this season. He's yet to win a title, but there's plenty of big ones still to play for.
16. 17.
The back of the pack is rather flat, which isn't all that appealing. But skimming off them, he's got the job done, and he was helped there by the fact he did have a red in
24.
bulk, so he knew if he went up there, more than likely he'd be on that.
Well, he's got the balls open, hasn't he? It's another frame winning chance, this. It's like he's never been away. I was mentioning it'd be 4 hours, but it may as well be 4 minutes. But he's got to keep focused, because one slip up, he knows Wilson's scoring heavily. He's made 4 of the 6 centuries we've seen today.
$30. 31.
Well, that's the easiest and most
31.
galling ball that we've seen Trump miss today. Routine black off its spot. I'm sure Wilson can't quite believe his good fortune to get back to the table so soon.
1.
Referee John Pellew well positioned to see whether Wilson's clothing was touching a red, which of course it was not.
8. $9.
I don't want to make too many predictions about this match, Dave, because it's almost impossible to do so with any kind of authority. The only one I will make, I cannot imagine it will be slow.
No, it's going to be an open match, of course. Trump's had his chance. It may be the only chance he has Bearing in mind the way Wilson's played, 4 centuries, took him to 200 for his
50.
career, a little milestone, 41st player to have made that many. Of course, he's full of confidence, having won the Scottish Open, his first ranking title. He first turned pro 2004, hasn't been on the tour every year since then by any means, but it'd been a long time coming, 18 years, and thoroughly deserved his victory in
22.
Edinburgh a couple of months ago.
23.
Well, in fact, it was 1 month ago. Time flies in the snooker world.
Yeah, he was so disillusioned with
30.
the game at one point, he became a taxi driver. But when Barry Hearn got back involved and the circuit expanded
31.
and became more prosperous, Wilson thought, I'll give this a go again. And that decision has been well and truly vindicated.
$36.
So he's in front in the frame.
37. 42.
Again, just mindful of that pink. There's John Pellew just keeping watch. Ah, well, it made a slight difference. It was a little awkward, and
Gary
still
Wilson,
you expect him
42.
to pop that, but walks back to his seat just 11 in front.
Yeah, looked awkward there, didn't he? I think he was slightly out of alignment. That's why the red did not find the target.
Yes. Eight.
So two balls
Trump,
missed in
8.
a single frame. The magic of the first session temporarily deserting Trump.
One.
Two reds left,
4.
and with only a 7-point difference, Wilson will need both of them.
5.
Yeah, it was always going to be hard for Trump
12.
to keep up the level that he displayed earlier on. It's just a question of how far below that level is he going to play. If it's too far below, then he's in trouble against a player like Wilson. 2 misses from Trump. Gary Wilson
13.
certainly no favourite for this frame. 16 in front, 23 with this black, so he needs yellow and green.
20. 22. 25.
both errors from Trump
29.
punished. And the three-time Championship League winner has lost his first frame
34.
of the day.
Gary Wilson, 34. Frame conceded.
From Trump mistakes,
Gary Wilson.
Gary Wilson made breaks of 42, then a decisive 34. He has made the start he wanted. Trump, well, suddenly there's from flawless to fickle. That's the Judd Trump progression so far today. Hardly put a foot wrong in the first couple of matches he played in the first
thank
session
you.
there.
Second frame.
Black off its
Gary
spot, then
Wilson
a
to
red
break.
went astray, and Wilson stepped in. One thing that is similar to the way we started out this morning, Table 1 is significantly outpacing Table 2. Rob Milkins and John Higgins yet to complete their first frame. Sometimes when you hit the heights and you're in the mythical zone, as Trump was, no doubt, in the first two matches, when you start to miss a few, it can be quite a tough process.
Cue ball held its line pretty well. I think overall conditions have been very good here. Of course, we're in a new part of the building. This didn't exist when we were here in the summer for the ranking event version of the Championship League. It's a new facility as part of the Morningside Arena. I know it looks the same, the arena, but it's a slightly different part of the building. Very nice it looks as well. Of course, the shootout will be coming here in a few weeks' time. The most enjoyable 4 days of the whole snooker year. All the snooker fans. Maybe not always for the players. It's a very cutthroat format, of course, just 10 minutes.
Two players in this group will go head-to-head in the first round of the shootout. Gary Wilson against Ricky Walden.
Well, what a thing to happen.
Foul.
The pink to go in.
6. Judd Trump.
Yeah, at least the cue ball cooperated. He missed this red by quite some way.
It doesn't look fatal, I know, but those 6 points, they may make a difference later. We just don't know. It may make the difference between Trump needing to pot a tough black or not, etc, etc. But anyway, no real damage done.
On table 2, both players had chances. It was Rob Milkins who drew first blood against John Higgins to lead 1-0. One of the keys to his success this morning, he was keeping really still on shots, was Judd Trump. Good opening red, and he would be delighted to see the cue ball just skirt past the green to leave it onto the middle.
4.
The big problem for Trump here, well, twin problems. The unavailability of pink and black.
5.
Yeah, and there's a red in the way from the blue to even go into that cluster and disturb them and get the black out.
8. 9.
'Yeah, this is the one. If he gets rid of this red, then it does open things up a bit more.
11.
'It was a small
12.
gap to try and thread the cue ball through. And if he takes on the blue, this is a very big shot. Is it advisable? It was.
17. 18.
'Trump has one more match left today over on table 2 to finish up against Matthew Selt. If he could win this match and beat Selt, he would be in the playoffs with, I suppose, a day to
22.
spare.
23. 28. 29.
Extreme side to swinging the cue ball away from the red and pink together.
Well, that's the shot he's been
Judd
waiting to
Trump,
play for a while,
29.
but he didn't pot the blue. Looking to get everything into play, didn't pot the blue.
Went. It did not, and so that was a tough opener. I think Trump could have expected to leave a much easier pot than he did.
Well, it's a different sort of frame. It's become a bit more tactical now, or it has for the moment anyway.
progress-wise, the two matches are about on a par now, because on table 2, Rob Milkins opened the scoring in the second frame with a break of 43. It looked like he was going to win it at that visit. And then, would you believe he missed a straightforward red to top left-hand pocket? I think from Wilson's reaction, the red might have just moved up the table a little there, rather than come down with a nap.
One.
Trump does that. I think the same thing almost happened to Trump's red. It went the way of Wilson's.
Yeah, Wilson was annoyed, although he must have played the cannon to the black initially to be on the pink, which didn't actually come off. But what did happen, of course, is he left the red to middle. So Trump's got a good lead already here as he attempts to level the match. You can't play your best all the time. He did this morning in that blitz of just over an hour. In fact, it was just under an hour, it's 59 minutes. But what you need to do, of course, is find a level below that can still bring you success. Mark Allen has done that to great effect this season. He's won a couple of tournaments, been in another final, semi-finals, but it's not all been
14.
eye-catching stuff. Some of it's been just sort of down in the weeds and finding ways to win.
15.
And Trump can certainly do that as well, and he's looking certainly the heavy favourite now for this frame. This is what I was saying about those 6 points right at the start. You know, with awkward reds, actually they've helped here
22.
in a very small way, but it means that this red is frame ball with the colour.
23. $30. 31. 38. 39. 46. 46, frame conceded, frame Judd Trump.
The scoring fireworks from this morning are so far absent for Judd Trump. Nevertheless, he dominates, controls the second frame. He equalises with Gary Wilson at 1-1. Before Judd Trump, Gary Wilson resumes all square. Look at Rob Milkins.
18.
That was frame ball. Looks like he's going to take a 2-0 lead over John Higgins. The crux of this frame, Higgins was clearing up from 40 on behind, but he missed the penultimate red across the top cushion, and Milkins stepped in.
Immediate chance then for Gary Wilson. First shot, frame 3. Dispatched with great aplomb.
1.
Cue ball. He's kept running though, hasn't it? Great pot. His white though has finished rather close to this side cushion.
Yeah, the problem with that was it made the pot a little more difficult, but it also
3.
constricted what Wilson could do with the cue ball, so he's left a middle distance pot here that could possibly rattle. Clean.
4.
Yeah, he's always been a sort of confident character in himself, Wilson, in terms of the sort of energy he creates in the arena. And now, of course, he's got every right to be, because he's just won a tournament. It was a tough draw he had. But now that he's won that, he knows he can do it. Everyone else knows he can do it. It makes him dangerous, I think, for the rest of the season. He's going to be in some big tournaments as well in the rest of the campaign, so we'll see plenty of him. But that is a disappointing
Gary
miss.
Wilson, 4. One.
He's such a good potter, and into the middles can be dynamite. Can't tell you how cute this angle is.
8.
Hardly anything to aim for.
9. $16. 17.
Well, when Wilson missed, it didn't look particularly fatal, but Trump potted that great red to the middle, and now you're concerned for Gary Wilson. Trump, though, so far in this match hasn't been as impressive as the first two. It would have been hard to be.
24.
Did win frame 2, but can he find his scoring boots again?
$25.
There again, just overran that cue ball slightly. Well, he may have to be a plant here to continue. Unless he's looking at this red by the
32.
blue. Looking at the plan, he's got to make it, of course.
$33.
A much better shot than it might have appeared.
Yeah, the only bad news is he's tied the black up now, but even so, the break continues. Well, it did until he missed that. So Trump not on it to the extent clearly that he was earlier on today.
Judd Trump, 33.
Good plant to continue, then misses the green.
Yeah, he's missed more balls already in this match than he did in 2 matches earlier on.
One. Six.
Well, this should get a few more into play.
7.
If Ricky Walden and Mark Selby are watching this, they must be thinking, why didn't Trump make these mistakes against me? Yes, of course, primarily your own form is what you live and die by, but it also helps if your opponent starts to miss a few.
$13. Thank you. 14.
Ideally would have liked the cue ball to travel slightly more than it did there. But the red on the right hand side of the 3, Wilpot.
20.
And now the red next to the green will pot also.
$27.
Not dissimilar to the last frame, really, where it was level pegging up until about this point.
28.
Still a little bit of work to do, the red by the black in particular.
$34. $35.
Well, surely played to cannon the red rather than the black. It's a good idea because he obviously needed to get it into play. So it's up behind the black. 6 points the lead.
Gary Wilson, 35.
That was pretty basic, but the most important thing for Trump was to hit the red on the correct side as far as he was concerned, and he did. That said, Wilson's still very much in charge of the exchanges. And should have been more in charge. Over on table 2, I can tell you John Higgins just about to pull a frame back against Rob Milkins. Scott on a break of 70 and counting.
Just think Higgins brings such class to any event he plays in. It's great having him here in this group. Meanwhile, what a pot from Judd Trump. Wow. That's an absolute belter.
70.
Need some sort of miracle shot as well, though, to get on this red. Well, he's done so well.
The way he's played that, can he possibly fertile the red in? Doesn't look as though he can.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking to get right behind it, isn't he? To pot it to this middle. But he's still done it. Brilliant. Well,
9.
brilliant stuff from Trump. I mean, the frame looks set to be quite tactical and cagey, and he's potted a wonder red, and everything has changed.
Yeah, would love the green to be on its own spot, of course.
14.
He's produced the clearance of the day, and now he's produced the pot of the day.
There was value in it as well because he screwed the white back for safety,
19.
but also he was on the black if the red goes in. So it wasn't reckless or wild by any means. It was well thought out. Brown and blue for a 2-1 lead.
23. 28.
So many aspects to playing snooker at the highest level. The biggest asset, though, is being able to pot balls. And Judd Trump did that spectacularly when the frame was on the line. And from 1-0 down, he now leads Gary Wilson by 2 frames to 1. Sometimes all you can say is, what a pot. Look at that from Judd Trump. And the black was also outstanding. Had very little room for manoeuvre, had to miss the yellow, and when he put the cue ball, it was about the only spot where he could try and nudge that red in with any degree of confidence.
It's amazing how that frame ended in the way. As I say, it looked set for another sort of 10-15 minutes of battle, but Trump just completely kicked the door in with the red. And just shows you, even though he'd made a few errors prior to that, you know, what he's capable of. A great shot maker, clearly. And there's another terrific pot.
1.
Amazing, though, these days how many balls you see potted off the break-off. Seems every frame there's something to go at. This is why, I mean, Mark Williams got stick for rolling into the pack the way he did, but it kind of makes sense, really. What surprised me, though, the one event he didn't do it in was the shootout, where you're only going to get one break-off in that final against Vafai, and of course he left a long red on Vafai, made a winning break. That was it.
Yeah, my thoughts on the Williams break-off, I think you're quite right. It was logical, it made sense, all that kind of stuff. I think if everyone adopted it, the game would be worse off. But I couldn't criticise Mark for doing it
7.
when he did.
No, that's right, and also, of course, it achieved the main aim, which is it got everyone talking, which is exactly what he wanted. Create a bit of mayhem and anarchy along the way. Stir things up.
Yeah, stirring things up on the other table. John Higgins eventually made an 85 break to win the 3rd frame against Rob Milkins. That's his
13.
highest break of the day, Higgins.
14.
Trump has been much more fluent, much more prolific when it comes to scoring.
$19.
Pink and black tied up at the moment, but Trump
20.
is probably the best there is now at getting everything open. Cue power he has.
25. 26.
Just manufactured an angle there to flick the red away. Look, it's early in this frame. He's only on 33, but if he wins this 3-1 already,
33.
you would find it very difficult to think he wouldn't be in the playoffs.
34.
He's not mathematically there yet with a win, but he's zooming towards them.
Yeah, and he gave himself latitude winning the first 2 3-0. He could afford to lose a couple, so
41.
he's not coming into every match having to win. He wants to win them all, of course, but you know, he did a lot of the hard work, the good work early on today.
$42.
So then, something's got to give here.
Very good. You know, in all 4 groups in this Bedvictor Championship League
49.
so far, there's not been a very high success rate going into the bunch off the top cushion first in potting the black. But Trump does have a red.
$50.
And now he has a real tester.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Phil, he'd been to Paris over the festive period, and he'd say today he's given us an eyeful. He's been very entertaining.
58.
That wasn't one of your best, Dave, was it really? I mean, you give me enough sticks, so I think I'll just give you back 1 on 1 occasion.
The good news is I won't be here tomorrow.
On 1 occasion, he did take the cue ball
61.
off a cushion and it bent around. He went on to win the frame. I suppose you could say that was the Arc de Triomphe.
62.
That's better, Dave. Admit it.
Like I say, I won't be here tomorrow. Anyway, Trump needs this black, and it should be victory for him. It hasn't been quite the flawless display, but it's still been really good, particularly since he unlocked that last frame, and this has been an excellent effort
69.
as well. A single visit to wrap up a 3rd win in a row.
70.
He might say otherwise.
77.
It might be the case otherwise, but I just get the feeling he's been putting the hours in. Looks so good.
Judd Trump, 77.
He missed a couple of balls early on in frame 1 that he should have potted, but thereafter Judd Trump looked mighty good. A 77 break to finish off.